Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk und ich bin jetzt bei einer Firma oder beim David Hottman, den kenne ich schon seit 15 Jahren. Also das ist schon eine lange Zeit in diesem Bereich und ich bin heute wieder, weil wir über Orestone reden Orestone, wir haben schon ein Interview gemacht in der Vergangenheit. David, I think we do an interview in previous years.
Yes, we have.
I war 3 Jahre nicht da. Also I was 3 years not here. About, you know.
Yeah. Well, everybody was hiding for 3 years.
Yeah, that's yeah. But you are now on an exciting step forward. We know very long and Orestone there was always that porphyry type deposit in BC that you are looking for, and you do a lot of work in the past. But now you think you know exactly in which way you must look that you find the right stuff.
Yes, we've primarily been focused on using geophysics and drilling to search exploration methods to search for the porphyry deposit because there's 20 to 120 meters of sand and gravel over the top of the deposit. You can't just walk up and take a sample on the ground and map it. So you have to drill, and we have established an area where there's alteration and mineralization over 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers in size. But it wasn't until we did a what's called a magnetotellurics survey last year, and that's a helicopter-supported geophysical program that basically now shows that this alteration area that we've drilled in the past, that right in the center of it is where the deposit is, and we've done step-out holes that might be 1 kilometer apart.
But you drill in the past and you find something there? Or?
Yes, we found gold and copper mineralization, and I realize nobody can really see this, but you see all of the amount of sulfides, and that is a dike coming off of the porphyry, and it's 3/4 of a gram gold, and this is another one. It's almost 1 gram of gold.
So this is a gold-rich porphyry system.
Gold-rich porphyry system, and we've been involved in. Gary Nordine and I have been involved with Bema Gold back in the early '90s. We drilled off. Gary's the chief geo. About 8 million ounces at Refugio in 2 different deposits that. And then made early on the discovery of the Aldebaran deposit, which is now, I think the reserve resource is 23 or 28 million ounces of gold. I don't have to remember because I wrote it in the presentation. But in all categories, it's over 30 million ounces of gold. And both of those are gold-rich porphyries. And then a group of us formed Eldorado Gold, and that I had dark hair back then. We discovered the 12 million ounce Kizildag deposit in Turkey, which is also it's a gold-rich porphyry. And so we think that the Captain project is the next big gold porphyry in our careers.
But this is really a gold porphyry and not many people looking for a copper porphyry with gold content, but you're looking more for a gold porphyry with copper as byproduct.
Right. We didn't specifically look for a gold porphyry, but we felt that there was a porphyry here, and it turns out that it's gold rich. So a porphyry is just a big mass of mineralization, or it's actually the intrusive that comes up from deep in the mantle of the earth. And if copper were $10 a pound and gold were $300 an ounce, then it would be a copper porphyry with some gold in it. But it's just the value, which metal has the most value.
But this can be changed, and when you look, one of the the CEO, I think, of Freeport-McMoRan say in the next 10 years the copper price will triple and they stay for minimum 10 years. Then no new mine is coming online. So maybe with a lower copper content, maybe it's then more copper porphyry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but it's doesn't care if it's a copper or gold porphyry. If the metal's there, it's good and it's economic,
Right.
then it's fine. And then we can make a decision if it's a copper porphyry or is a gold.
Yeah, and as long as both metals are going up in price,
Who cares?
let's argue all day long as long as both metals are going up.
That's mean you're not here in the porphyry. Here, that is different style. So what is this?
Right. This is what's called a dike. You have the main porphyry body, and from the top of the porphyry you have fingers or veins that go up, and then some out the sides as well, and those are called porphyry dikes. In other words, it's just a vein that's coming off of the porphyry. So it's the same material, and it's just being squished up between weaker rock
Structure.
units. And so this is what we hope to find, somewhere close to a gram a ton, and it's quite a large mass.
So and the dikes are also an indication that you are close to a porphyry.
Yes, there's a big altered body, the porphyry, because it's altered all of this rock that's hundreds of meters thick for 2 kilometers in each direction, and it may actually, the alteration halo might be bigger than that. But the
From some source it must come.
right, that's correct, and actually, we do have a PowerPoint or corporate presentation on our website, which is www.orestone.ca, and because I'm going to be making references with Joe to items that you'll be able to look at in the presentation. But this gives you an example in terms of size. You start out here at 300 meters of depth. It's over 1 kilometer by 350 meters. And then a little bit deeper, it's 1.5 kilometers by half a kilometer. And that'll give you an idea of scale. And because of the MT survey that we did this last summer, we can geospatially position that where it's located under the surface of the Earth, and it's right underneath the big altered model that we've come out with in through drill holes.
So that's mean in the past you have bad luck and drill exactly next to them.
On the edges of it, yeah.
And that's the reason why you find only the dikes.
That's correct.
And not the ore body, the porphyry itself.
Right, and it's not necessarily bad luck. It's a flat area, and you can see for 5 or 10 kilometers in any direction where you're going to put the next drill hole. So you get alteration, and then you look at how much of this mineral or that mineral you have, and you say, well, let's go 1 kilometer over that direction. Let's go 1 kilometer over that direction. And so you're looking for it. And through this exploration and the geophysical programs, we now know where it is.
That's the reason why normally we talk always porphyry are the big systems and big and big and big, but it's not easy to find. Then as a normal thinking people, you say, hey, when this is so big, it should be easy to find it. But the Mother Nature is not so easy.
Right.
And you need longer that you find maybe the source of them.
Right, and I've seen alteration halos visible on surface in Argentina on a property that we had, and it was 10 kilometers. You have normal looking rock, and then 10 kilometers you see this really light colored area, the argillic alteration. And so where within that, even though it was a circle, where within that is the mineralization? Is it 4 kilometers this direction or 2 kilometers that direction from the center? What we're dealing with here is 1 kilometer cubed is 2.5 billion tons. We only need 300 to 500 million tons. Actually, 300 million tons, which is roughly 500 meters cubed. That is at 1 gram a ton. That would be 10 million ounces of gold. So there's certainly a lot of room to find a big one, and it's a big system. And all the science that we've done, we are going to drill right down the center of it as we know it.
So this is the plan for this year, to drill it deep holes, 1 or 2?
2 or 3 holes, approximately 1,000 meters. And so they'll be about 300,000 Canadian dollars a piece. We have about $100,000 in the bank. So obviously we need to raise some money. And so we're starting some investor awareness programs and talking to some brokers. And we'd like to raise the money at 10 cents instead of 4 cents. Or 20 cents. It just depends on where we can get the market to go.
In general, we must say, you say the market. We are close by gold, really close to the all-time high. But when you look at then on the market, you say, "Phew, it looks not that we are close to the all-time high. It looks like more a depressed market."
Right. Well, the share prices are depressed, but the commodity price is
the commodity is high.
And so one has to give, and I mean one will change. When I say one has to give, right now the price of gold is moving. A lot of the major companies are moving. There's a lot more mergers and takeovers happening. And that's because the larger mining companies or companies are sensing that that prices are going higher, and they want to lock in a transaction to be able to take advantage of that. So usually you have the larger companies that their share prices move first, and then the intermediate sized companies, then their shares are moving because it's reduced risk. You buy the major, and the price is moving, and it's the lowest risk, so you want a little bit more risk to get more return, and there it goes, and so juniors will be moving next.
So, but your story is very, very simple for me to explain. You quite sure now that you with your new geophysics, what you do last year, that where the porphyry should be. So you drill now, or this is the goal for this year, 2 or 3 drill holes to confirm this theory. And so far you find the dikes from the previous drilling. And if you find this, then normally the share price going to the roof.
Yes, there are several companies that are drilling large discoveries right now. In BC, just to the north of us. Snowline is one that we've talked about in the past, and it's $2.50 to $3 a share and has quite a large market cap. We have 56 million shares outstanding today at 4 cents, so a $2 million market cap, and for us to get to a $200 million market cap or a $500 million market cap, there's a lot of upside here.
I think this was a good end point. I think this good description. What you so that's mean, but you want to drill this year. Is there a drill season where you can only drill?
No, we can drill all year round except for 2 windows that are about 30 days long, and that's when the snow is thawing and you have too much water around, and the other is when you start to have snow in the fall and it's still too mushy and muddy. But other than that, it's actually in the middle of the summer or the middle of the winter is the best time.
Thank you for the update. Also die Story ist relativ einfach. Das Projekt gibt es schon sehr lange. Sie haben auch in der Vergangenheit gebohrt. Sie haben diese Dikes gefunden. Das sind quasi, Sie suchen, sagen wir mal so, Sie suchen am Porphyry. Und der Porphyry der ist zwar riesengroß, aber gar nicht so einfach zu finden, weil er nämlich tiefer liegt. Es ist ein Overburden, es ist ein Deckschicht drauf. Dadurch sieht man ihn auch nicht. Man weiß zwar, es ist eine Intrusion da, aber man weiß nicht genau, wo es ist. Und man kann halt, wenn man da, er sagt, ein paar Kilometer in diese Richtung oder in diese Richtung, macht einen großen Unterschied und man findet den einfach nicht, obwohl er eigentlich riesengroß ist. Sie haben letztes Jahr eine Geophysik gemacht, neue Geophysik, wo man genau sehr tief sehen kann. Und es gibt auf Seite 10 bei einer Präsentation 3 so Fotos, wo man auf 300 Meter Tiefe sieht, 700 Meter Tiefe sieht oder 1900 Meter Tiefe sieht. Und sie wollen jetzt diese Theorie bestätigen, dass nämlich sie am Rand immer gebohrt haben, diese Dikes gefunden haben, diese Ausbisse vom Porphyr, der exakt dasselbe Metall innen hat wie der Porphyr selber. Und wenn man das, Sie können es nicht sehen, aber ich sehe es, man sieht hier sehr fein verteilt dieses ganze, I think this is Kupferporphyr,
Yes.
Kupferkies.
Ja.
Und der ist ganz fein verteilt und das ist genau das Material, was im Porphyr drinnen ist. Deswegen sind Sie sich sehr sicher, dass ein Porphyr irgendwo in der Nähe ist, weil von irgendwo muss ja das Teil herkommen. Und Sie haben ihn nur noch nicht gefunden. Jetzt mit der neuen Geophysik gehen Sie davon aus, Sie wissen, wo er ist, und jetzt wollen Sie 2 bis 3 Bohrlöcher reinbohren, 1000 Meter tief. Das kostet ungefähr 1 Million. Sie werden auch Geld raisen und dann das dementsprechend bohren. Und eins wissen wir, wenn Sie natürlich hitten sowas, dann geht sowas durch die Decke. Das ist ganz klar. Und deswegen ist das relativ einfach erklärt. Es ist nicht eine gemade Wiesen, wie wir sagen, aber wie gesagt, wenn die treffen, dann wird was Großes passieren, treffen sie nicht, ist eine andere Story. Das muss man halt einfach mal sehen. Aber das ist halt einfach jetzt die Fakten bei dem Unternehmen, spannende Geschichte, und ich werde mir es weiter mal anschauen. Wie gesagt, ich kenne ihn schon lange, er hat in der Vergangenheit sehr viele Sachen gemacht, sehr viele gute Sachen, große Sachen, und er ist spezialisiert eigentlich auf Porphyrs. Das war es von Orestone im April 2023. David Hottman war bei mir. Tschüss und Baba. Pfiat euch. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.